This in the 1987-88 playoffs from Wayne Gretzky. Patrick Roy saw it last year. The booming slap shot by Damian Rhodes. Wayne needs 20 to surpass Gordie Howe's 801 goals in an NHL career. It seems like only yesterday we were hearing about this kid making noises at the World Championships and wondering if he'd be good enough to play in the NHL. Now, 15 years and countless achievements later, Wayne Gretzky's questions, and certainly all of ours, have been answered. But we thought you'd like to start your new year by hearing from the great one. So here's a chat he and I had, beginning with his feelings on '93.
Well, it started very poorly last January for me, obviously. And the middle part was tremendous, maybe the most exciting part of my whole career. And unfortunately, it kind of ended not too good. But hopefully '94 will be a lot better.
Can you pick a sweetest moment from that Stanley Cup run? Was it player introductions in Montreal, the victory here in Toronto in Game 7?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question Game 7 here in Toronto. I think that Toronto Maple Leafs are Canada's team, and they always will be, no matter what anybody says. And I won 4 championships in Edmonton, and I don't think anybody ever rallied around the Edmonton Oilers outside of Alberta quite like the people of Canada did with the Maple Leafs, or so it seemed anyway. So coming here for Game 7, I remember flying that day and thinking, well, we had a real tough job ahead of us. We're playing against a very good hockey club, very emotional team, and we're going against some big odds here. So that game was probably the most gratifying game of my whole career.
And it was a nice cap to your first 5 years with the Los Angeles Kings. A big question, is your contract signed?
Well, it's agreed to. It's not signed. There's a couple clauses that I guess certain players asked for that at this point in time we're waiting for the NHL to okay or nix. So as far as myself and Mr. McNall goes, it's agreed to. Now we're waiting for the NHL to kind of give it a stamp of approval.
Can you elaborate on those clauses?
Well, obviously everybody asked for no trade clause. I don't want to leave LA. I don't know if the NHL is going to go for the no trade clause. That seems to be probably the biggest issue right now, and then there's a couple other minor issues, but that's probably the biggest issue.
Did you know that Bruce was planning to sell the team early in this year?
Well, we hear all the same talk. You know, as we're partners in a lot of ventures. In the hockey, I'm more or less an employee. He tells me certain things, and some things he doesn't tell me. And one of the things he didn't tell me was that, you know, he was going to sell it for sure. Until 2 days before we left on a road trip, he pulled me aside after the game and said, you know, before you come back, the team will be, a certain part of the team will be sold. And Mr. McNall's big thing was that with this group that he had, whether it be Sony or the group that did eventually buy it, that they wanted to build a stadium, and build a stadium was $300, $400, $500 million, and he wanted to be part of that, and that's what he's done here. And he's very funny man. He wanted to be known as the guy that kind of helped kickstart the game of hockey in California, which he has, but he didn't want it to end. He wanted the legacy to go on, and he's said many times, I would like to be part of a group that helps put a beautiful building here that the LA Kings are playing for a lot of years.
IVD Communications will eventually go in with Bruce on this offer. They don't want to buy the team without you, so I would think that's a bit of a problem now.
Well, it's not a problem because I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I'm stuck with the LA Kings. They're stuck with Wayne Gretzky. I'm very happy there. I for many reasons, enjoy playing Los Angeles. As I said a lot of times before, the reason I did go there was because of Bruce and the relationship we have. And beyond that, it's just the right city at this point in time in my life for me to live, for me to raise my kids, for me to be able to go out in public and be with other people and live a relatively normal life. So for Wayne Gretzky, at this time, it's the right city.
I guess when I think about the Marty thing, Wayne, I realize when the $15 million trading Wayne Gretzky August 9th, '88 is still, to me and all Canadians, an unbelievable day, and that Marty McSorley and Mike Krushelnyski were thrown into the mix, I think at your insistence, or at least in part. It shows me then that you realize there is a need for some size in and around you. Barry Melrose has made this complaint. It's not easy to find people, but let's start with Marty and how badly you miss him.
Well, I don't think that there's any question. Our record shows in itself. I mean, we just haven't been strong enough consistently on the road, and size is a big part of this game. The Marty situation obviously was a business decision made by the organization. Marty chose to go the route of the NHLPA, which became a free agent. And, you know, the hardest part for me is I miss him as a friend. I mean, you know, I'm sure the changes are going to be made for the better in the sense that, you know, you just don't stand pat if you're not in the playoff situation. So changes obviously are made. They're made even if you're in first or second place. So I think the management will eventually take care of what we need. But as a friend, I miss Marty. I enjoyed his company. I think that there's very few players who can come up to Wayne Gretzky and give me an earful without being comfortable about it. And everybody needs that. I need it. Yari Curry needs it. Every player needs it. And Marty and I are close enough that he had the ability to point at me in the locker room and motivate me. So from that point of view, I miss him as a friend. I miss him as a teammate. But I know he'll do well in Pittsburgh, and I wish him the best.
What about the goal, the John Olerud, Paul Muller slap shot? Tuesday out of the air.
Well, it's funny. In LA, they call it JT Snow or Salmon. The names are changed. Well, you know, it's funny. It was just a fluky, lucky goal. I mean, I shot the puck. Barry's been on me all here about shooting the puck more, and I got in the face-off circle and I shot it, and I hit our own guy in the back. And I happened to be the guy looking that way, and nobody knew where the puck went. I was the only guy really in the building probably saw where the puck went, and I watched it come all the way down, and as it got to about here, I just kind of turned in my stance, and, you know, I kind of giggled on it. I mean, that was a lucky goal, but take them any way you can.
I hear Ty is completely hooked on the game. If for no other reason, that might be encouraging to keep you in for 5 or 6 years so we can watch you play maybe even Nagano in Japan in the next Olympics. How much of a goal would that be? What is your goal for Ty and Trevor, I mean for that matter, with respect to hockey and for you personally?
Well, I think there's no question what you said about my son kind of rejuvenated my enthusiasm for the game. I watch him, and it reminds me so much of myself when I was younger. He really does have a passion and a like for the game of hockey, which I'm very proud of because I think it's the greatest game in the world. So, and it's been great to me. So he really does like it. He likes being around the players. He likes coming to the rink. He likes skating every day. And it's a fine line for me because I understand the pressures that he's going to be under. And I mean, his very first game, he's playing with 5 and 6 years old, 5 and 6 year olds, and he's only 3 years old and he wants to play. And I don't want to, you know, stop him from doing something he wants to do. But, you know, my wife and I were driving home after the game, and we were looking at each other saying, you know, he's got a tough haul ahead here for him. It was, if you can believe it or not, it was like almost like a circus atmosphere with him playing, and he's just 3 years old. I mean, he's just a kid. So it's going to be a hard life for him. So I want him, I want to encourage him, I want to support him, as I do all my kids, and yet I don't want to force him to do something he's not comfortable with and he doesn't want to do. I think in these kind of situations, you just step back and be the best parent you can be. And hey, as parents, we all make mistakes. As people, you all make mistakes. But you give your kids the love and support. That's all that really counts.
I wish we had more time. I'll just say, Wayne, in this segment that Phyllis and Walter did for you what Wayne and Janet are doing now for Ty and the other 2 children. Good luck in '94.
All right, thank you very much.
After 40.